Please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
After that, I just, yeah, like I said, I broke down. Then I pulled myself together. We were going to try to splash our track down the river because we wanted to get across the other side to see if they had the spotters or how they were getting their arty on, on us and, fire on us, or how they were getting close or being able to shoot us. So try to splash. We threw track going down the river, and we got broadsided, and which is obviously the worst possible place that you want to be when you're taking artillery fire is
That's a bad spot in a
broadside.
firefight.
Yeah, broadside down the river from where the whole day, and it was the worst. So 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 we had to abandon the track. We all had to run up the bank, like brought like this whole side of the river that we've been taking fire from the whole day. We're all running up the bank.
You guys ended up returning fire, right?
Oh yeah. The sergeant was in the turret, like shooting 50 cal the whole time. But I mean, you're still broadside to, the other side of the river from where we've been taking artillery fire and everything else the whole day. It was horrible. And then so we ran up the hill. We got into like the foxholes and behind the M1s, and we started like engaging more like small arms fire. And like I said, a grunt had left his M203 vest on my Amtrak. It was probably like 30 rounds of 203, and I had the 203 attachment luckily on my M16. So I ran down the bank and I jumped the Amtrak, grabbed that, ran back up, and then me and Tops just pretty much started using the other side as like a grenade launching game.
Like a range.
Let me get, yeah. She's like, let me get some. So he launch a couple, and like, hey, give it back. Right there. We just kept launching them. While the stuff was going on, corporal on another track while we were broadside, this corporal did not like this certain sergeant, and this certain sergeant was always kind of a jerk to this corporal. So while we were broadsided, he starts calling in to the other corporal to provide support because they needed another track to come up and help us because we had thrown and we needed, and so he called him, and he hadn't gotten chow that morning. The corporal hadn't gotten chow that morning or their Amtrak. So when the sergeant called him on the radio with we need support, you need to come up here right now, he said, we're not coming up there until you give us chow. I think the sergeant almost about lost his mind, because I mean, I don't know if he the corporal did not realize the levity of the situation at that point.
Yeah.
We were broadside to Diyala, taking fire and throwing track, and that we were like disabled. And because he hadn't gotten chow that day, he was pretty much pissed off at him. That was his response. Have you got our chow?
You guys can just die.
That was the best. Like, you give us MREs, but you could just die. So
that's funny.
That was pretty amazing. So that was like a strange layer to that whole situation. I mean, after having seen two guys get killed that day, to trying to splash the river, to throwing track, to running up the river, shooting M203 rounds, to corporal saying he's not going to come over there unless you give him chow. Dude, that was the best. That was absolutely amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was great, dude. They had some words after that, but like I told you, like at that point, the war hadn't really gotten personal until that. I mean, once I saw them, get taken out and killed, like, it was just pretty much all I wanted to do was revenge. I wanted to get back at them, or anybody, as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And then and I mean we couldn't really cross the bridge or anything that day. So like overnight after we stopped engaging, I think it's sometime like around maybe like 5:36 when it started getting dark. They just kind of called it and said we'll pull back, and the army came in and set up the bridge. And then the next morning we crossed it and we're right into Baghdad. Then we got across and you saw like the chaos on the other side of everything that we had done the day before, and it was like everything had been pretty much blown up, shot, something. Like it was crazy.
And
Like
just bodies everywhere.
there's bodies everywhere. And I just remember thinking, like, who's gonna come in and like clean this up?